Okay, wanted to come on and do a video kind of reviewing Gumloop, which is a new AI-enabled automation software that allows you to kind of just flowchart your workflows, drag and drop with no code to make some really powerful automations, and I thought it was pretty neat. So we're also doing a kind of long form article, and we'll post that on LinkedIn, but for those of you who prefer a video overview, let's get into it. So there's a few things that we did. We're going to use Gumloop to automate checking emails in an inbox and then reviewing the applicant's resume against a job that they applied for. We're using Notion for our database of applicants and job descriptions, and Outlook connection for our resume. So a little groundwork. We got a couple sample resume applications in our email inbox there under the applications folder. For our Notion page, we just duplicated the default application tracker and job board templates that Notion has and modified them a little bit. So the job board, we removed all the other stuff except for the kind of default brand designer job that they had in there and added a job ID. So there's your job description that people are applying against. And then the applicant tracker is an empty database right now that just has the applicant, and we'll have an AI review summary in there where the AI gives you a summary of the applicants versus the job description and their suitability. So when you go into Gumloop, you're also going to need to go into your personal settings and credentials and then authorize connections to the other external applications you're going to use like Outlook and Notion, which is what we've done here. So you'll have to do that. And then back to the hub, you just click on new automation. And they have a bunch of pre-built nodes for just kind of, like I said, flow charting out your workflow. For this automation, we're going to be doing the Outlook reader. We're going to be using the extract data, the if else, which is just a control block, and combine text, and then our Notion database writer. So let's zoom out, kind of organize our stage, and then we'll get into one of the other neat things that Gumloop lets you do is create subflows, which are kind of reusable chunks to make your workflows more organized, and also, like I say, allow you to reuse modular code or modular workflows that you might want to use again in a different overall workflow. So there's that. We're going to rename this to our main flow applicant review, we'll call it. And we're going to build a subflow. We'll rename that one AI review, because this is going to be our node that takes the applicant's email and resume text and then feeds it into an AI, compares that with the job description, and spits out ranking and review. So review, let's add some nodes in this workflow. So we're going to add our Notion page reader to read the job description. We're going to add the input, which allows you to send input into this subflow. We're going to do combine text again. We're going to do ask AI. And we're going to do an output. And then we just drag and drop again to organize our workflow here. Input that there, ask AI, and output. So Notion page reader, we got to go back to our job board and get the link for that page that has the job description on it. Right there, copy the link, go back to Gumloop. So there's a little bit of a quirk with this that they're working on right now. The link needs to just be the number that represents that page. So you delete that stuff in between and you delete everything after the question mark. So that's our link to the page. Input, that's going to come from the other workflow, from the applicant review workflow. We'll look at that in a sec. So we take our page content, which is the job description. This is going to be the applicant's email and resume. And then the combined text, we just add some context to tell AI and the rest of the workflow what each input is. So this job description is input 1, and applicant email and resume is input 2. All right. And we're going to take that combined text and feed it to the AI block to ask it questions about it. So I've got a prompt that I've redone. This big prompt will be in our LinkedIn article. It's just a prompt that tells the AI what it is, what role to assume, what its task is, which is to evaluate a candidate, give them a suitability rank and strengths and weaknesses. Then we're going to feed that output. Okay, so that's our AI applicant review block. If we go back into our overall one, we're going to drag that subflow into this to be a part of our overall workflow. All right, now let's set up the main stage for this, which is our Outlook reader. We're checking the applications folder. Okay, and then we're going to use combined text inside of an if-else block to check our email data, so the email contents and subject line and the attached file contents, which is their resume. We're going to check that and see if they have the job description or the job ID that we set for this job, which is 1234A. Again, we set the context of the inputs, so email data is 1 and attachments is input 2. Right. So now what this should do is it's going to check the applications folder, and then if the email contents or application have the job ID in it, then it will continue to do the rest of the reviewing, and if not, then it won't. You can make the workflow more complicated here and add triggers if you wanted, which would trigger to do this on every email received. Right now, we're just going to review every email in that folder. Okay, so if that is done, we're going to extract some data to write it to our Notion database. And we're also going to send that same data to the AI to review. You just drag and drop and do your workflows. Okay, so let's look at our extract data. So we want to extract the name, applicant's name. We want to extract, we'll just add, let's do 4 here. We're going to add their location, applicant's location. We're going to add their LinkedIn, the LinkedIn URL, and their email. So then you'll see extract data. So that's going to use AI as well to extract this information that we want. And then we're going to drag each of those outputs to the corresponding box in our Notion database that we want to put the information into. So location, LinkedIn, and email. And then from our AI review node, the output's going to be that AI review of the applicant versus the job description, and we're going to go that to the AI review box. So if you look right now, our job board, we go back to our applicant tracker, got nothing in there. We're going to save this automation and let's run it and see. Checking our email box. It's going to find those 2 emails that we had sent, does our conditional, and then it's sending the resumes and emails to the AI for review, and then it's processed them and it's writing to Notion. So now if we go back to our applicant tracker database, we've got our 2 applicants, a suitability ranking along with the AI summary of each resume. And again, this is a result of our prompt that we put into the AI. So depending on what you want to get out of it, you just modify your prompt accordingly. So there, we've got our email addresses, we've got the LinkedIn if it was there, location. So pretty neat way to do a really quick workflow that you don't need to be able to code. You don't need a lot of technical expertise, and you can make really powerful workflows with all of these pre-built components. And then if you do want to get more advanced, they do have, code execution modules and stuff like that. So you can get into really advanced workflows. But I just wanted to go on and do a little review of how easy it was to do these kind of AI integrated workflows with Gumloop. So thanks for following along. We'll see you next time.